Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah podcast.
Crux proper.
Crux, yeah. Here we are again, dude. Cody Swindell, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
How are you, dude?
Good, man. Doing well.
Oh, man. Dude, you were like, you left. I just saw this. I was actually, I was going to tell you this before, but I didn't get a chance to, so I'm going to tell you now. I just saw, like, I got like a couple little like 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, but you actually wrote one, man. I just fucking saw that.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
dude. Yeah, you did that like a while ago.
I don't remember. I
So
wrote.
thanks.
Yeah, I like the
He's
local
like my
pods, man. I like
only
this one.
fucking, he's my only review on Apple Podcasts, dude.
Was it poetic? I don't remember what I put.
I don't know, man. It was just like I like listening or some shit. I don't know.
Ah, nice.
It was
nice.
cool though, man. Yeah, thanks,
Sounds
dude.
great.
Yeah, man. So you had a show this weekend, right?
Yeah. I went out to Tyler. It was pretty fun, man. It was a little room. It was like 20, 30 people or something. In the back, like it was like a old cell phone repair shop. They turned into a little comedy club out there.
Oh yeah.
But it was cool, dude. It was really fun. They're real loose out there, so
Hell yeah, dude.
it was a wild time.
That's fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. I
It was supposed to be Stanktoe's spot, but he
okay.
dropped out and left it to me. So
because you got COVID, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he's saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's. What other fucking Dallas Fort Worth podcasts have you been on?
Dan's the Rose and the Snow Globe. We talk about movies.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He came over and we did that here.
Oh yeah.
Like we did mine and his. I think he put.
What was your movie?
I think we talked about Pulp Fiction.
Oh okay, that's a good
That's
one.
my movie.
Yeah.
Because that's a movie I can watch. That's a movie I can watch, no matter how many fucking times I've seen it. If it's on, I can watch it. And
Right.
That's only so many movies with me.
That's like a Pineapple Express is that way for me. I was gonna talk to him about that one too. I think I was gonna go back on there for that.
That's cool, man.
First time was Big Nothing. It was a David Schwimmer movie. So that was my little like hipster pull out of my bag.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of people I hope have heard about it.
Which
type
one?
Movie. Big Nothing.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's like Simon Pegg, Alice Eve.
Okay.
It's like a kind of a dark comedy.
I don't know who either of those fucking people are either.
Simon Pegg?
No.
The funny
Probably if I
dude
saw
from
who is it? Let's
Shaun
see.
of the Dead?
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that dude.
Yeah, that guy. That guy is really funny. Shaun of the Dead was really funny.
Yeah.
I saw that like just after I got like right when I had like less than 30 days sober.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That came out in like the fall of 2004, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like just getting into high school.
Yeah, I think that. Well, I was just out. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
I was just out of high school,
Yeah.
like a year. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
okay.
So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
had just recently happened, and I went there with a girl that I was really trying to hook up with,
Mm-hmm.
and her boyfriend was like in prison, and I'm actually glad that because I didn't end up doing anything with her. I went to the movie with her. I didn't want to go see the stupid movie, but she wanted to go. You know what I mean? And so we went, and I never ended up doing anything with her, and I'm glad I didn't, because a couple years later, he got out, and there was like a bunch of rumors, I guess,
Right.
like that we had done stuff, and he was going around like fucking. He was crazy. He was insane, dude.
Yeah.
You know, he was like a methed out fucking crazy motherfucker. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
He just got out of prison, so he was going around like trying to beat up guys that he heard like fucked his girlfriend while he was in prison.
Oh, yeah. That could be anybody.
Yeah. So I was really glad that I was like, I could honestly say like that wasn't me. I didn't do that. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that worked out for the best.
Did he believe you? Or
I never, dude. You know what else is crazy? Like 1 degree of separation with that guy for years.
Yeah.
Like I had friends and I knew girls that knew him that I knew too, and all this shit. I knew a lot of people that we both knew.
Right.
Never met him in person once.
Wow.
Never met him in fucking person once. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
It's one of those situations where like it's a guy that you're just inches away from seeing and meeting. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you talk to people that you guys have mutual friends that you both talk to,
Yeah.
but you just never.
Like
Never
glance
meet.
over across the room, but your eyes never meet. Like that
Dude,
kind
I've never saw him in person. Never once.
Hey.
So weird.
That's lucky.
And like I think that, yeah, it was strange, man. Plus he was a lot older. You know what I mean? So I'm talking about
okay.
like when I was like 19, this dude was probably like 29.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
30.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, he's way fucking older, you know?
Right.
But, yeah, dude, I had my first I had a weird weekend, dude. I had my first private gig this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't had one of those.
Dude, it was my first. It was fucking crazy, bro. Like, it was interesting. So, it was like, you know, Sib?
Yeah.
So he threw up like some gigs that he had, and he needed like hosts and stuff he could do clean.
Right.
So I hit him up. I sent him my fucking little footage. You know, I sent him my tape and shit, and I was like, hey. So he ended up using me and booking me for this event. And it was a banquet for Kendall Police Department.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
For cops.
it was that
That's
one.
crazy.
It was the cop one. Yeah. So it was the fucking. They were doing like their 2021 like awards basically, but they pushed it back because of COVID. That's why they're doing it now.
Oh, okay.
So it was like this like banquet hall in the back of this restaurant.
Yeah.
And it was a decent enough place, but the fucking the PA system was like really like fucking wonky, dude. It was like kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? Right. And no one had sound tested it before. Like no one got up there and checked the mic and checked the speakers and checked the sound, stood in the back of the venue. Like no one did anything, right?
Right.
And nice dude, but it was like a police chief that put it on. Well, first of all, let me back up. My fucking truck broke down when I was on the way there, dude.
Yeah.
So on Friday when I was driving around, it fucking turned off when I was on the freeway, and that shit's never happened to me in my life. That was so fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
But you know, I just dealt with all the codes, all the lights came on, the accelerator stopped working after a couple minutes. So luckily I was coming up on an exit right when I pull into this gas station off the exit.
Yeah.
I think I was on the fucking like the 360 or something. Is that an actual freeway? 360?
Yeah. I was on that earlier today. That's Austin. I don't know. There might be one around here.
Whatever the fuck. It's something like that. It's like by Arlington and Grand Prairie and shit.
Yeah.
So I pulled into the gas station, and that's when it fucking died. Like I got so lucky. Right? So there was an AutoZone like half mile down the street. I thought it was my battery because the battery's under warranty, but I got it less than a year ago. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's a faulty battery. It just fucked up and died or whatever. And so I went and got it replaced at the AutoZone, or I got it and then replaced it.
Right.
And then I drove home, and I figured out that must have been it. But the battery light stayed on. So then I realized, I didn't realize this shit because I don't know a lot about cars, but I talked to a couple friends who do, and they're like, it might be your alternator. Yeah. So just be careful because that's the thing that charges your battery and like keeps it charged.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, I got home, so then I didn't think about it. So I don't drive anywhere all day. I'm just fucking doing shit at the house, getting ready for the gig and shit. I get dressed, I leave, because I had to be kind of like formal, so I had to kind of dress up a little.
Oh, yeah.
So I leave here, right, Saturday evening. I'm driving, everything's fine. I get on the 20, right, headed east. For those who don't know, that's a freeway in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, man. Don't worry, the 20 is not a sponsor of this podcast. I just mentioned it. But yeah, I was on the 20, right? And all of a sudden, same shit, codes come on. Fucking accelerator stops working. And I got so lucky, dude, because I'm coming up on an exit again, right? Right when I get to the top, the exit was like a slight incline. Right when I get to that fork where the exit ends and the service road begins, it died. So at least I wasn't in a lane.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm still in a dangerous ass place. Like I'm still technically on the freeway and a highway and a service road, but at least I'm not in a lane. You know, I'm dead in the middle. So I put on my hazards. Truck's not fucking moving. It's cold. It was fucking cold and rainy on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's starting to be like dusk. So it's starting to get colder. Yeah. So I like have my coat on. I get out, contact my roadside assistance through my insurance and shit. But I have to go. Like, I need to be on time for this fucking gig, right?
Yeah.
You know, this is the first impression. I don't know this guy. He's taking a risk with me. He never met me in person. He just watched my tape and talked to me on Facebook.
Sid?
Yeah. So it was like a big first impression because it's like, fucking, dude, who is this guy? Is he going to show up on time? Is he fucking, you know, whatever? So I'm like, dude, I need to be there. You know what I mean? This is important. So, plus I'm getting paid. Like, it's fucking, you know, I'm making $30, like whatever. So it's cool. Yeah, it's cool, you know? So, there was a fucking Scottish inn at this exit, like a kind of a ghetto kind of motel.
Yeah.
Like adjacent to it. So I had to walk through all this grass and it's fucking wet and I'm wearing dress shoes. So I'm like an idiot walking in this grass, like walk around the corner. I go inside. I'm on the phone with my insurance and she's like, hey, what's going on? We'll send somebody, but you got to leave with the keys of the vehicle and can you stay? And I'm like, I can't. You know, I'm not comfortable leaving my keys. I got to go. I got to go do this thing. I can't stay. And she's like, well, it's going to take us longer to find a tow truck that's going to come and do that then because normally they like to have the keys and I was like, that's fine. Do whatever you got to do. I have to leave the truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, fuck it. The truck's insured, whatever. I mean, what's more important is this fucking gig, right? So I get an Uber. I just Uber from the Scottish, and I got to the fucking place right on time in Cannondale.
Yeah.
And so here I am. So we're going to start it. I'm the host, right? So at first, Sib goes and talks to the police chief of this police department, who was the guy who booked it. He's the guy who's throwing this event, right?
Right.
So we come up to him, we meet him, and he's like, yeah, give us a second. Once everybody gets seated and gets their food and gets their drinks, I'll do an introduction, and then we'll bring him on. We'll bring fucking me on. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm thinking he's going to get up there on the mic and be like, how you all doing? Welcome. Thanks for coming out. As you know, this is our annual awards banquet, and right now we're going to start it out with some comedy. Let's go ahead and bring up Crux Crawford. This is the host, right? Yeah. Dude. So check this. That was so hilarious. So I told you, without checking anything, barely turns the PA on, right? There's 2 speakers on this big-ass raised stage, right? And there's 1 microphone up there.
Right.
This dude, he's like, all right, y'all ready to start? And then we're like, yeah, let's start, So he doesn't go on stage. He doesn't get on the microphone. He just turns around. It was probably maybe, I'd say, between 60 to 80 people. It was all cops and firefighters and their significant others, right? Gotcha. So it's like a bunch of banquet tables, right? So he just turns around in front of the tables and just yells fucking, all right, we're going to do some comedy. This is Crux Crawford. He's going to go up there and tell some jokes for y'all. He yells it like this. You know what I mean? He doesn't fucking get on the mic. He just fucking yells it, dude. Yeah. Dinner's ready. Right. So everybody's just kind of like, what? At this point, everybody's just kind of like, what's going on? What happened? I don't even know if he told them there was going to be comedy. It seemed,
He just surprised them just then.
It was a complete toss-up, bro. He might have said what was going on with the event beforehand, but he could have easily not, because everybody looked kind of confused.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, shit, because I didn't realize he was going to do it like that. Right. I thought he was going to get up on the stage. So I'm like, fuck. Right. So I run up there. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh, shit. He just went, hey, this is it. So I go up there, and I grab the mic. And you know what, man? So I had a decent set. It was like
nice.
1 joke hits, 1 joke doesn't, 1 joke hits. Yeah. Now, I don't, and this is the thing, the important thing, this is what I learned about doing that fucking private event, is that the whole point of that thing, if you're like the host or the feature or whatever, is to make the headliner look good, because it's their gig, it's their name, they're the one that got booked, the people are paying for them. That's who they expect the most from, right? So my whole set was basically getting the kinks worked out with the PA system. You know what I mean? Because it was echoey. Afterwards, they were telling me it was really echoey, and they were trying to figure out the sound. And if you were in the back, it was it wasn't impossible to hear, because that's where I got the most laughs, was actually at the back tables. But you really had to listen, I guess. Right. You know what I mean? So they got it worked out, and by the time the feature was up, then all of that shit was solved the best it could have been. Plus, also, it was a faulty fucking mic with the cord, so it kept going out. Yeah, so then I was also the crash test dummy for that, or however the fuck you say it. So I was the one who learned you got to be really careful with that fucking cable, because it kept going out. You know,
that's rough.
But it was fine though, because it's dude, if I can do that in this fucking room, just like all the fucking pros, all these fucking big podcasts talk about with comedians, those private events, it was so hilariously just like what they all complain about and talk about with private events, dude.
Was it lights on and everything? Just
lights on, everything's kind of out of context. It's not exactly the right setting.
Yeah, everybody's yelling off the top.
Everybody's kind of looking at you like they don't really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, dude, like I said, I did not bomb for sure. I got some laughs. You know what I mean? I got some laughs.
Getting laughs in a tough setting, that's always
I got some laughs. So there were lulls for sure. And also on some of my punchlines, the fucking mic cable would cut out. You know what I'm saying? So that was but you know what, dude? It was dude, I survived that. Right. And I felt fine. I didn't even sweat. You know what I mean? Because of all the fucking mics I've been doing, all the shit we've been doing. You know what I mean? So it was that was fun. That was that's the kind of shit it prepares you for, right? That was fine, dude.
And at that point, you're just thankful to see faces.
That was fine. It was awkward at times, but it wasn't fucking humiliating. It wasn't horrible. You know what I mean? So I did my set. It was cool. cool enough for the situation. Then I made the announcements and shit, and then I brought up the fucking feature. Feature had kind of a rough time.
Yeah.
And then, but the headliner, Sib, he went up there, he killed it, dude.
Hell yeah.
He killed it. Like, he crushed it,
What kind
and
of
that's
stuff
great.
were they, the cops like biting on and stuff? Did they
So
like
this is
dirty
the-
stuff? Did they
this
like
is the
drug
other-
humor? Or anything?
Dude, so you know how like you hear any big comedian talk about doing private events, and they
Yeah.
always criticize how they always try to make it super clean when the crowd doesn't want to hear clean shit, and they always talk about like how ridiculous that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I think that was the same thing here. I think that chief, like, nice enough guy. I think maybe he didn't. This is just me guessing because I don't know what the conversation was when they booked Sib, but I'm guessing maybe it was like they wanted to hear. They just didn't want to have tons of profanity and like graphic fucking sex talk. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they didn't want you to be like Disney. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like we were like everybody was under the impression we were supposed to be like backdoor clean, right?
Right.
So like, and for anybody who doesn't know, that's backdoor comedy. You got to be really. It's pretty strict clean. You know what I mean?
Bathroom humor.
Yeah.
Vulgarity.
Great room, but yeah, no shitting, no pissing, no graphic fucking, no swearing of any kind. Maybe you can say shit if you're doing well or if you're in well there, and you're really funny or something. But they don't even like that, right? So it's so. But anyway, what was funny is anytime you got dark, you know what I mean? They liked it and they laughed. And then when one of the cops went to use the bathroom, right? So then when I was hanging out in the hall with the feature, he was like, "Hey, anything you can do, fucking adultery, violence, death, cop, we all love that shit."
Yeah.
So I think the guy didn't communicate what he wanted in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, not to say that it was his fault, but I think maybe he just didn't know how to ask for what he wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's hard to ride that line, but you got to like, especially they got a dark sense of humor. You got to remind everybody that we're all adults in that room,
Yeah.
Do
It
some
was weird.
edgy stuff to wake everybody up every now and then, I think,
But they were happy, dude. They gave a good review. He just told me today they thought everybody did well. They loved the event.
Hell
They
yeah.
were really happy with him. Got paid right after.
Yeah.
So that was my second paid gig.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So that was cool. Which is like all fucking bonus miracles in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Like if like Alonzo Bowden was talking about, dude, like your first 4 years, like
Yeah.
doing comedy, he's like, dude, any money you make is like, consider it like a blessing. Like you're
It's not gonna be like real money anyways.
yeah,
but
he's like, dude, you
some
shouldn't
acknowledgement's
expect to
cool.
make. Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
dude, you shouldn't expect to make. He's like, I made a little money. I got lucky and made a little bit of money here and there in my first 4 years. But he's like, dude,
Yeah.
your first 4 years, you shouldn't even fucking worry about it. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? So anyway, that was cool. It was interesting. Because it was a totally different vibe. You know what I mean?
Where was it? You said it was a hotel, like a
No, it was like a restaurant. It was like a restaurant bar, and they had this
Oh,
banquet
okay.
hall in the back.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, so it was like it was weird. It was like a banquet hall. You couldn't, like, when you step in the restaurant, you wouldn't have been able to tell that there's anything going on back there. It was
Right.
really interesting. But like once you step back there, then there's a whole fucking event back there.
Oh yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was interesting, man. That was last weekend.
Yeah.
But like, what was that? How's that place? Is that like a new club in Tyler?
I think it's been around for a while, but they just got new management, so they renamed it and everything. It used to be Randos, now it's Rose City.
Okay.
It's a Rose City comedy out there. But I think they're looking to do shows at other venues and stuff. But I got family out in Tyler, but so I was a little worried, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been out there a few times before. Tyler's not really, it's not going to be the new Austin. It's not going to be
Right.
like, you know, but they came out and had fun. Like, they were cool.
Hell yeah,
So
dude.
It was awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah.
What like how many seats was it, or how many people, occupancy?
Just like 30, and it's like
yeah.
super shallow. It's probably like 10 feet deep, maybe,
okay.
and wide. You know what I mean? So it's 2 rows. Everybody's just spread out right in front of you. Everything's real intimate, you know. But everybody was laughing. It was big laughs all night. Mike Tribby was there.
Yeah,
He
yeah, I
had a
saw
good
that.
set. He
That's
had a great
cool.
set.
Oh, good.
Yeah. He did like 15.
Well,
right
he did
before
15
Brandon
minutes?
Davidson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. He did a good job, man. Everybody was loving it. And then, Brandon Davidson was the headliner, I guess. I think he did like 30. He killed. It was my first time seeing him.
What did
He
you
said
do?
he was doing some stuff he was working on, but it was awesome.
What did you do?
15. He said I was going to do 12, but then kind of last minute he said somebody dropped, so he gave me 15.
Hell yeah. See, that's what's badass about doing stuff. I want to do more stuff like that too, because that's the cool thing about doing something out in like Tyler or Waco or, you know, somewhere out there. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you try to do something like at our level, you try to go and fucking do like, you know, Hyenas or the Improv on the weekend. Like, dude, it's a blessing if you're going to get like 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So if you can go somewhere and do 15 in front of people on stage.
It's a weekend. You get some time to stretch. Like 15 stretching for me.
Yeah.
You know, being like a year in or whatever, that's 15 still stretching. So
do you ever listen
definitely fun.
Yeah, no, I'm sure, dude. Do you ever listen to any like old JRE episodes, like old Joe Rogan episodes?
Yeah. Not so much recently. Not because of anything, but he switched to Spotify. It's not as easy to listen to him anymore. You know
Yeah. Oh, you haven't listened since then?
Well, I just got a new phone. I had that old, like, I had that phone that was like 10 years old.
Oh, did you?
So it was like not, my apps weren't even working on it anymore.
Oh,
I just switched phones like a week ago.
Okay.
So
because he talks about that. Like he talks about and he's not the only one, but it's just like what popped in my head.
Yeah.
When he was like new and when he was coming up, he would, even when he moved from Boston to New York, he would not stay in the city on the weekend and just jump around and do those 5-minute spots here and here and here and here. Because he's like, dude, why would I do that when I could go to fucking Rhode Island or I can go to like rural Massachusetts or Vermont or something. It's not super far away and do fucking 30 minutes or 20 minutes.
There. And it's new people, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you haven't seen anybody out there in Tyler, you know?
Yeah. And he was like,
seen your jokes yet.
Yeah. And he was also like, they'll tolerate you even if you suck for the level that you're trying to be at. Like he was like, I would headline shows when I had no business headlining. Like he's like, I'd do 40-minute sets when I had no business doing 40 minutes, but they would tolerate it if I did some bar in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
As opposed to like a club, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's what I've heard from, I don't know if you're the same or not, but that's what I've heard from a lot of like people that are like veterans, like that are, you know, comedy veterans that have been doing a long time. Like, they're like, dude, that's how you get really fucking good. You just like go out there and do like, you get a club to put you up for more time than you should have. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you just get up there and figure it out. Like that's how you get way better or whatever. I don't know if it's true, but that's.
I'm not ballsy enough to do it yet because I'm like, I was just telling somebody the other day that I haven't gotten into like crowd work yet. I haven't really tried crowd work or anything. Some people tell me not to, you know, so you'll hear that from some experienced comics not to even try crowd work yet. But you and me hit a lot of mics, you know what I mean? So I think for some of those rough bar mics, might be better to try to get loose, find your voice a little bit, try to learn your own personality other than just shuffling through the same jokes that you've been kind of beating everybody up with, the same comics that are sitting in the back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It always feels bad.
I don't know, man. My thought on it is like, this is just me personally. I try to, if it's like a show or something where I have room to do that, which hasn't come up for me yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like if I have a show in the future where I have room to do that, then I'll do it. But at like the open mics and stuff, I feel like it's risky because I don't want to fucking ruin a crowd for anybody. I want a chance to work stuff out and get honest feedback, just like I'm sure everybody does.
Right.
So the last thing you want is someone to fucking walk the people that are there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Or you get them all riled up, and then they're barking at everybody that gets on stage. And
that's what Ryan said. I asked Perio about it. You know what I mean? As somebody who's super, you know, dialed in and, you know, seasoned in comedy, and he was like, he's like, you shouldn't not do it, but he's like, don't do it if you're up in the beginning. He's like, because then that makes the people think that it's okay to do it for everybody.
Yeah.
And the people that don't want that interaction, then it fucks up their shit. Right. You know, he's like, maybe if it's later. You know, if you're on in the end, toward the end or something, and people understand, they see, okay, not everybody is going to be like this, and they've already seen that example. Right. But like if you're first or second or something, and you start fucking with them, then they're going to start fucking with everybody.
Yeah,
you know?
You set a bad tone early.
Yeah, that's what he said. But I don't know, man. Yeah, dude. I'm watching those fucking. Dude, I didn't feel bad because like a couple episodes ago, like my fucking newborn baby was like screaming in the background. You could like subtly hear it. I'm watching, like, I went back and watched like a bunch of the fucking early Joe Rogans, like the first episodes, like when he first started it, you know, in his house, you know, with Brian Redband.
Yeah.
And
kind of gray and grainy video.
Yeah. And you can hear his daughter when like she's a baby. And he's like, "Did you hear that? It's my fucking daughter. I got to get a studio." He's like, "I got to get a fucking studio, man." it's funny too, man, because like back then he had a rotation of like the same like 3 or 4 guests. Like it was just 3 or 4 comics that were his buddies. Like Duncan Trussell, Brian Redband was the producer, Joey Diaz, Bill Burr would pop by. He'd have randoms every now and then, but it would pretty much be that core group, and then Ari Shaffir. That's it. Like it would just constantly be them for like the first year, pretty much.
I feel like I watched the old Segura one where he's in like a shiny leather jacket.
And Tom,
yeah,
and Tom. That's right. Yeah, it's true. It shows you like just it shows you just like how certain things, and that's just one example. Like anything that you like, if you go back and watch something that's super successful now, like you have to realize it's been going on for a long time. You know what I mean? And it takes a long time to do anything. Just like stand up or whatever. Anything that you see, any person you like now and you think, oh, this is the way that they've always been, I just discovered them. No, they were a lot different. You know what I mean? And they started doing what they're doing like 10 plus years ago. Yeah. And it was a journey to get to that point, you know?
Yeah.
So, dude, like I know you listen to like Tuesdays with Stories and We Might Be Drunk.
Yeah, I love those.
Isn't it great when they're talking about like the rooms that they go in and they're just bombing and getting abused on stage? And shit?
Yeah. I think We Might Be Drunk or whatever. I think that one has a good perspective on what it's like to be a comic. You know what I mean? Not that I know what it's like at their level or anything. I like that they go over bits, they go over peeves and stuff.
Yeah.
They had one that helped me out a lot. It was back-to-back weeks. They were like, I hate it when people go. When they say, you know what I mean? Mark was like, no, I don't know what you mean. You got to fucking tell me. And I was just telling my wife, like, I say you know what I mean too much. I was noticing it when I was listening to my sets.
Yeah.
And then they harped on that. I heard it while I was like mowing the yard. I was listening to the pod. It made me feel like a fucking idiot. I was like, I got to quit doing that. And I kept doing it that week. And then the next week he was like, I know I said this last week, but the guys that say you know what I mean, I hate it. Like you can't. I was like, what the fuck? Like, so yeah, I felt like he was talking directly to me. You know what I mean?
Is he talking about other comedians that say that on stage?
He's talking about just a peeve,
just
like
in
when
general,
people use that as their
in
filler
conversation.
On stage.
Oh, on stage.
On
okay,
stage, during their set. They were like, no, you got to paint the picture. You're the comic.
I've never heard you say that.
I think I got out of it early, but I still have.
Better.
I think I've filled it with other ticks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think there's all these kind of like I stand fucking weird now on stage. Like I don't know what to do. I'm always shuffling my hand either in front of my stomach or behind my back. You know?
I don't notice. If it makes you feel any better, I don't notice that.
Yeah.
I think that might just be in your head. You don't seem awkwardly moving your hand or anything.
Yeah. I'll notice in a couple of my videos. Like I got a video from the Tyler set this past weekend, and I still noticed it. I was like, I still don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but
yeah.
Whatever.
No,
that's
for
a
sure.
Little thing, but whatever.
No, and it's important to do that stuff, dude. Like,
yeah.
Like I've watched a couple of mine. I'm like, fuck, I hate that I do that thing. And it's good to watch that because then that's the only way you're gonna find out.
And it sucks, dude. It's mostly just audio. I wanted to see my body mannerisms and stuff like that. See how I am on stage, but even just the audio, because I record every set, every mic just in my back pocket, just the audio and stuff. And it's tough to listen back to that. It's tough just to press play on the ride home because I sound like an idiot. All the pauses, like that 5-second delay between 3-second delay getting between jokes. Like I feel like such an asshole in between those jokes listening back to it on my phone. Like it's tough to play back. But.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But it helps me purge those shitty jokes that I keep saying every night. So you got to do it.
You know? Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's important. Like I'm finding, and what I realized this last weekend is that's what's so cool about trying to write and come up with stuff and trying it out every week is that it's really does work. Like that's how you fucking build a set.
Are you committing to doing that now? Like new shit every week?
Like system this is what I want to do because I'm kind of divided and everybody's got different opinions on this. Mm-hmm. I was hardcore doing that like for the past couple months, which it does work, man. Like I have so much fucking material, you know what I mean, that I can use with shit that I know has worked, you know what I mean, like 80-90% of the time. Oh, yeah. And I feel like if it works like 80-90% of the time, then that's something you should do,
right. Yeah.
So like I've come up with shit because of that, dude. It's like skyrocketed the amount of shit I have, you know what I mean? But at the same time, then I've heard other valid concerns, like people that we know, like comedians that I know that I think are really good that have been doing it way longer than me, that I feel like, man, why doesn't this guy get more stuff? He's like really good. He's been doing comedy for a long time. Like, why isn't he like way ahead, you know? And I've heard like, oh, well, it's because like some people, it's a happy medium is my point. Cause like if you just constantly trying new stuff out and that's all you're doing, then I think people are just going to be like, well, what's this guy's actual set? Like, what material does he have? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't want to be the guy that's telling the same fucking 3 jokes and just has 3 minutes of material for 5 years.
Exactly.
You got to be somewhere in the middle. So maybe I'm going to dedicate certain mics to new shit and then certain mics to just like doing a set. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like I did the improv yesterday, like the improv mic, and
how was it? I heard it was going to be packed.
it was a big crowd. It was a big crowd.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a big crowd, especially for that. You know how that one is, man. Sometimes you can get a nice little crowd in there, man. So, sometimes not, but sometimes you do.
Yeah,
and
usually it's not when I'm there. But you get those couple tables and you hope they giggle.
Yeah. Well, dude, there's been that for sure. But sometimes, man, that place will, you'll get some people there. It was one of those times yesterday. And all I did was shit that I knew worked. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I'm not in the mood.
You're at a club too.
I'm at the club, and I'm whatever. You got a show coming up there, right?
Yeah, next March 9th on a Wednesday. Yeah.
Actually, let's do all this fucking shit now, because I always hate, like, a lot of podcasts do this, and I don't want to do this, and I hate it when people do this. Let's not wait till the fucking last 2 minutes to fucking do it. No, I like the plugs. It's just I hate waiting to the last fucking minute. So, so what are your shows? This is coming out tonight, right? You know when you listen.
Awesome.
You know when it comes out. This usually comes out Tuesday at midnight, and then the video usually drops either Wednesday at midnight or Wednesday during the day, depending on how much time I have to edit the video and shit. So. Perfect. With that in mind, everything's very current. What shows do you have coming up? Where are you going to be at?
Yeah, I got this Thursday, I'm going to be in Arlington at John Brown's show that he's headlining. So that'll be awesome, man. I'm pumped to be there. That's one of my favorite main rooms in DFW, the Arlington Improv. So that'll be cool. And then Saturday, I got MacGyver's in Burleson, right here in Burleson, man. And then that same night, a competition at the Comedy Arena in McKinney.
You're doing that in the same night?
Yeah. So
I did that MacGyver's last month.
I heard it was awesome. I heard
it was great. It was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
I heard y'all brought them back, dude. Mike's been saying that a whole bunch of people have been wanting to come back to that. So that's awesome.
It was great venue. It was a great time. It was cool. You'll like it. Anyway, sorry. So you got Comedy Arena that same night.
Yeah. So I'm going to be shooting over from Fort Worth to McKinney, and then for that competition. And then hopefully I'll have that again next week if I advance. But then the next day, Sunday, in Grapevine, going to be at Third Rail. That's a pretty nice place. They just started doing shows there. And then that next Wednesday, March 9th, at the Addison Improv, Arun and Friends, some badass comics, good buds. David Diaz, Paul Smith, Casey Coleman. Going to be fun. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, you got a good little string coming up.
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped about it. Yeah, I got a good couple weeks coming up.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking cool. So the only thing I have for me right now going on that I have 100% confirmed is I'm going to be doing a spot on the Classified Comedy Show March 19th. That is going to be back at LG Tech because the weather should be nice. Again, I hope so. You know what I mean? In March, getting a little warmer again. So March 19th at the LG Taps on Greenville in Dallas. Nice fucking area, nice venue. It's really cool. Cool outside area. So tickets are on sale now. I'm going to start, since we're getting into March and this is coming out the first night of March or whatever, first day or whatever. I'll put the ticket link in the description and everything. But yeah, March 19th, Classified Comedy Show is the next time you can for sure see me, at least as of right now, that I have like 100%. But yeah, man, that's fucking cool. Yeah, you got a nice little run. That's the first time you'll be doing improv, right?
Yeah, both of them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Are you doing a guest spot on John Brown's show?
Yeah,
nice.
I guess. Yeah, that'll be cool. Found out about that this past weekend, so I'd be looking forward to that.
That's cool, man.
That'd be awesome.
Is it like an and friend show there, or is it just him?
No, he's headlining. Yeah. So I think it's just that Thursday. It's just this Thursday. But yeah, he's headlining. He headlined there a couple months ago on a Sunday. But now that football's over and everything like that, comedy should be picking back up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So hopefully it'll be a good time. Arlington's, they just started their mic again too. Their mic.
I know. I'm going to be there tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll make it out to the mic, but I'll be there Thursday. So
John's fucking cool, man. He helped me out a lot when I was doing these first few episodes. I didn't have this whole fucking studio. I didn't have my shit set up at my house. Yeah. So I was going to other people's places to do it. those first few episodes. So he has his shit set up for his podcast at his place.
Oh, right.
So we just did it at his place with his shit.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he did an episode with me. He helped me out a lot.
Hell yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, his new album's on Spotify, I think.
Were you there when he
funny.
taped it? I was there when he recorded, at least the first time.
I wanted to go to that show, and I didn't make it out to Fort Worth, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, man. So I watched him record that one. I'm going to have to listen to it because I think he did more than one. So I don't know if it's...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's... I'm sure he probably compiled it together. I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's really cool, man.
Yeah, it was a good album.
You already listened to it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've seen it, the same set live a couple times there at Hyenas, so just not when he taped it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's a funny fucking guy, man. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, it's really... The crazy thing about him, dude, is it's like unique. You know what I mean? He's like super unique.
He's unique, but I've already gotten confused for him like 5 times. So.
You have?
Yeah, we did a show. We were on the same show at Bear Creek a few weeks ago, and some dude came up to me afterwards and was like complimenting this dude that came down from New York. He was telling me he did a great job, and he got over to me and he was like, I thought he was about to tell me I did a bad job, but I had a pretty good set because he had a weird look on his face. He goes, "You were the one making fun of me, right?" And I was like, "I don't think so." And I know I wasn't. I was like, "What was I making fun of you about?" He's like, "You were making fun of me for being like an accountant and stuff." I was like, that wasn't me. It was John. He just, we both wore hats.
Yeah, they're like, dude, the other guy with the hat and the southern accent.
Yeah. John's like if you click the YouTube, like the 1.5 times speed, like I'm slowed down.
Yeah,
brown.
He's super fast
Yeah.
compared to you, especially. Yeah, like he's
Got
totally
way more
different
energy than me.
Totally different styles, dude. Yeah. Dude, that's
they're
so
gonna
funny.
think after they see the guest spot, they're gonna think I went in the back and did speed and then came out to headline. Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, dude, like you and John Brown, that'd be like the Nutty Professor. It's like, you know what I mean? Like if you went out there and you became someone totally different. Yeah, it's fucking funny, dude. Yeah. Oh my God, man. But yeah, it's interesting, dude. Coming around and seeing everything, like the Arlington mic. That's gonna be cool to be there because that's the first one that I did my first time, and that was the last time they did it until they recently started bringing it back.
Was I seeing you there? Because I went a handful of times.
You weren't there at that one. I would remember.
Okay.
I can tell you who was there that very first time that I went up, and that was Hakeem.
Yeah.
That was Emily was there. I didn't talk to her though, or like she left really quickly.
Right. Was
Corey
David running it?
Huh?
Was David Diaz running it?
No. It was the guy who's running it now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was him, and it was who else was there? It was Hakeem was there, Jordan J was there, Corey Cherry. Who else was there? Xavier was there. I think that was it, but that was pretty much the lot of who was there that time.
Yeah.
You know, but it is a very cool venue. It is, dude.
Yeah, and that one was weird too. Is like how many people would come out. Sometimes that whole front section would be filled up on a Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I was there,
when they did it a long time ago.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That time there was maybe like 2 or 3 tables, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool, man. That's a cool spot. The thing that I love about those improvs, dude, is that you have that fucking timer right there. You know what I'm saying? I love that.
Yeah.
And when I went and saw Big J when he came a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if have you seen like a professional fucking, a big deal headliner show at the improvs before?
Yeah, I saw Dan Soder was the most recent one. So Big J's blood.
Okay. Yeah. So seeing him there, right, at Addison was my first time going to like a show there, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At the Improv.
Like a sold out big guy.
Like a national headliner, right? Like someone who's a big deal. And I was curious. So I looked back and I was like, did they use the timer for everyone, right? And sure enough, he had the timer on. He had the fucking, so you could see where he was at.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was his stuff pretty, Jay's is like a pretty loose storyteller, right? Like it wasn't like, he's not like Mark Norman out there. I was like,
no, he's not like joke. Yeah, he's.
I lied. I have seen Jay once, but it was at Mayhem Fest. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a real.
That's what I love that he did that, dude. That's fucking cool, man. It was so hilarious, dude. He came out and he did he did like 20 minutes right from the fucking out of the gate of like badass crowd work, because that's like his specialty, right? Like he's super fucking hilarious, killing, like he's killing, right? And he, after about 20 minutes, he goes like, I haven't been writing. He's like, I know I need to, but I hate doing it. You know what I mean?
What a beautiful moment to be able to have and to own it, where you have your fans that when you say that, they're going to die laughing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's like, I haven't been writing. So, and then he told a couple old jokes I'd heard before. Yeah. And I was kind of like, okay. So this is like okay to do that. You know what I'm saying? He was, because a lot of times, depending on who you listen to or who you hear or who you follow, you think like, oh, you're not supposed to do that, right? Like if it's been on an album or it's been on a special or it's been on TV or something, you're not supposed to ever say it again.
Like when you burn your jokes and stuff.
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, dude, I'm interested in all that stuff too, because I don't generate material at a respectable rate for myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, am I going to have to hold on to these jokes for longer than I intend to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you seen the Talking Funny HBO thing?
No, I need to see that. I need to watch that.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
I've heard of it.
Referenced.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good thing. It's
no, I've seen that. That's a Louis C.K. and Chris Rock and Seinfeld and Ricky Gervais. I have seen that. I just saw that.
Yeah, they talk about that. Like when Jerry is like a big it's your hour, and it just kind of grows and evolves. Some jokes grow and fall away or whatever. And then Louis obviously has like new hours.
Chris
all
Rock
the time.
too. Yeah.
I think I respect the new hour more, don't you? Like,
yeah. But I mean, and granted, they're at that fucking black belt level. All those guys.
Where their new hour is going to be good.
Yeah. So it's like, and they've been doing it forever. So and you see the people that are kind of like, well, this is kind of how it really is. You don't necessarily burn everything, or it kind of depends on who you are. Plus, I feel like especially right now, this period in time is a big exception to the rule because the pandemic fucked everybody up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because like people weren't doing comedy. Like Big J was like, dude, I didn't do comedy for a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like everything was closed.
Everyone's probably seen up that old stuff, what has legs and what doesn't.
Yeah.
What still works.
And plus if you're in that position, you got 2 or 3 podcasts, you're busy as fuck. You know what I mean? You make money off of those podcasts. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you have a name for yourself. I don't blame them at all. You know what I mean? I could totally fucking see how that would be tough, and then on top of that you got to write. It's got to be hard, or like, it's not necessarily the easiest thing.
Yeah. I always wonder too, like with podcasts, maybe not so much like this one, but with like which one were we talking about? We Might Be Drunk and stuff. They talk about their bits on there and everything. I'm like, what if that's a bit that you don't want to, like, I would be so worried that I talk about a bit, like we went over a bit and then I ended up doing it at Twilight on Wednesday and it didn't work, and I wanted to keep it in my back pocket for a year instead of keep working on it. I'd be worried that somebody else would finish that joke for me before I could finish it. And then I just kind of gave up a joke, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm so sensitive about like my material right now. Like I can't afford to lose anything.
Yeah.
And it's not even stuff that's good, but I'd be nervous to lose jokes burning through talking about random stuff on a podcast, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I
it's
think
weird.
Joe List said that Seinfeld got onto them about it too. Like you waste everything because you tell everybody what you're thinking on the podcast and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like it's fucking it was interesting to see Big J do that, because it was like, oh, okay, not everybody at the fucking pro level does that. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's okay. He told a couple jokes I've seen and heard before. You know what I mean? Like he did a couple things, and he said it too. He was just like, yeah, so I guess I'll tell a couple whatevers, And then he like did one thing that he was working on that was new. It did well, you know what I mean? But he was just like, this is something that I have, and then he went on. I forget what it was. It was good, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it was interesting. Then I fucking, the whole time that was like, during his set, I was distracted because right behind me, I was sitting towards the back, and right behind me was the fucking table that was, they were not obscenely talking, but they were talking a little bit, right? And Diego had to kick him out because Diego was working. Yeah, dude, I got to give him props, dude. He fucking dude, Diego, if you're listening to this, because I know he'll listen to the podcast.
Mean face?
He'll listen to the podcast sometime. So he was behind me, right? He was on the table directly behind me.
Yeah. And
he stepped up to this table, dude. It was like 5 black people, whatever. Like the dude was, this older dude was there. He was kind of like the guy who you could tell he was like the leader or whatever. He was the guy who brought everybody there and shit. And he said to the guy, you know, he was like, hey, you're going to have to leave. Like, you guys are being too loud, you know? And the fucking dude, like, got up and stepped to him and went, well, you, like, he said something to the effect of, like, well, you're a bitch-ass motherfucker. How about that? You know, some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And fucking Diego is just, like, straight-faced, held his ground. You know what I mean? And they tried to, of course, then they pivoted to like, well, y'all are racist. That's why you're fucking kicking us out. You know what I'm saying? And then they walked. They wouldn't pay their tab. It was like $400 or whatever. It was like a lot of drinks and food. And they didn't, well, y'all are going to kick us out. Fuck you. You know, we're not going to pay.
Yeah.
And like, you're racist and shit. Luckily, Jared Collins, who was on my podcast last week, he was there watching, right? So he actually took him outside and was like, they're not racist, dude. You guys are just being loud. Like, come on, man. Like, you know? And he was telling me about it after we were talking.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they left without paying and shit. But yeah, so that was a big distraction. So that actually distracted me from a lot of the set.
That sucks.
Which
saw
is
that
fun.
happen at Hyenas a couple weeks ago too. You hate to see that happen.
Yeah.
Somebody skip out. It was somebody that like walked up the stairs, and the door guy was dealing with somebody else. So somebody else, their boyfriend walked out first, like to get the car, and then the other girl walked behind and was acting like she was on the phone as she walked out. And they skipped their tab.
So it was all on purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever done that? Like, not at a comedy club, but I'm saying, like, have you ever, like, dined and ditched or skipped out on shit?
No.
In your life?
I don't think so. Not that I would be like, if I had to feed my family, I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world to leave during a meal, but
I'm just talking about
running up
just
like a $400 thing at.
So I did it once, dude. I was like 18, dude. Me and my friend. I think, honestly, dude, what was it? I think we ended up, for some reason, we didn't have. It wasn't like we went in there with the intention of we're going to dine and ditch, but it was something where halfway through or right after we ate or something, we realized we didn't have money. I think we realized, like, you know, because I was on a lot of fucking drugs back then.
Yeah,
we were doing fucking a million fucking substances a day, right? Like getting fucked up off everything. So I think maybe it was like, I can't remember. It was a long ass time ago, but maybe it was like we didn't have money. God damn, this fucking thing. We didn't have money. And we realized it or something, like after we'd eaten. So we're like, dude, we don't have money. So we just fucking ran out. You know what I'm saying? It was at a Denny's. And they were like, you know, we could hear as we were leaving the door, like, hey, you know what I mean? We fucking ran away. That's the only time that I've like intentionally done it. Yeah. I know a guy, okay? I know a guy in LA. This is the thing that totally blows me away. This dude, he needs like something in his life. He needs an outlet. Like he needs to fucking do something. Like, because all he has is his job, and he's very good at it. He makes a shitload of money doing what he does.
Right.
But you can tell there's a void in his life because, dude, once again, this guy makes fucking probably, I'd say at a low end, $300,000 a year, right? Oh, shit. He does very well for himself. So even in an expensive ass city like LA, that's doing very well. Yeah, you know what I mean? This is the kind of dude who you'll be at Cheesecake Factory at the bar with him, and he'll be like, dude, the bartender's a bitch. Let's fucking just ditch. Let's ditch the tab. Like, he loves walking tabs. Yeah. That's the thing. And I know a bunch of friends that he goes to nice restaurants with and nice bars. That's what he gets off on that. He loves fucking ditching, walking on tabs. When he's in a hotel, he'll go to a nice hotel and he'll fucking complain. He'll fucking do all kinds of things to where he can get a bunch of free shit or get money taken off of the bill for the room.
Oh, shit.
It's so fucking weird, bro. And it's like, damn, this guy doesn't. And it's not necessarily that he's like he doesn't give the workers a hard time per se. He's not like he's rude to them. He just wants to steal. Like, he wants to get off on getting over. Like, he wants to get over on the institution.
Like, he wins every deal.
Like he's not fucking treating the waitresses or bartenders or hotel staff like shit. He just, when it comes to the money, he's trying to, he gets off on playing little fucking games to just get over on the fucking business.
I didn't have to spend money on that. I got it for free.
Yeah, I got it for free. And this guy's got like so much fucking money. You know what I mean?
I see the appeal. I definitely see the appeal.
Right.
Yeah. Not for like a grand slam or anything.
yeah, dude. Yeah.
Last time me and my wife were in Austin, the hotel, we got there, we booked it online or whatever. We get there and the lady's like, yeah, there's one problem. Like, random rooms haven't had hot water. I was like, that's the main reason why I'm here, is to get a shower. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I was like, whatever, I don't care. It's already too late. Like, can't book another one at this point. It'd be pointless. But we get up to the room and hot water was fine and everything, but they still gave us like $100 or $200 something crazy room credit for like the bar, restaurant or whatever. And I was like, we can't use all that while we're here. Like, we got a meal, but it was like $30-$40 or something. But then we were on our way out. My wife went by the bar and they're like, oh, you can buy a bottle of wine to go. So there's like nothing wrong with the room. We got a free meal and a bottle of wine to take home.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool.
That is cool.
Because they thought hot water might be.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like, there's certain situations, dude, where I feel like there's a line that gets crossed where things are unacceptable when you go to some place, whether it's a hotel or a restaurant or whatever. And there's like the I don't want to be a dick factor when it gets overridden by like, okay, this is like fucked up though. This is like unquestionably like not a cool situation, you know?
We went to New Orleans and got a hotel for my birthday this past summer, and had a couple mics and stuff down there. Had some fun, but we get to the hotel, and what we booked was a king, and what they gave us was 2 queens. And I was like, we're here, or it was might have been our anniversary. No, it was my birthday because we were in New Orleans, but we went down there, whatever it was. We get there, and there's the 2 beds. It's like, I don't want to stay in this. And we went to ask them there to change or whatever. They're like, this is all we have. We'd have to like, we ended up refunding the rooms. Like, I don't want to sleep like I'm on a business trip with my wife, like some empty bed or us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
weird. I don't like that. Apparently it's normal. Like, they just switch it up on you like that. I don't like it.
Yeah, dude. It's interesting. It's also interesting to see how people fucking freak out
Yeah.
with shit too that's small.
Yeah.
Like you see how people that's why, like, I've talked about this before, but like I'll think to myself sometimes like, dude, there's so many fucking other countries that have it so rough.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily talking about like, you know, like the starving kids in Africa. I just mean like there's other countries that like the level of adversity and stuff and like the struggle is so real and people are so hardened and shit and we're so soft because everything's so like luxurious and there's people suffering here for sure. I'm not saying that everybody's doing well, but most people comparatively to a lot of other countries, like in America, like everybody kind of has it easy compared to a lot of countries. So I think to myself, like, God, I'm so soft. I'm so spoiled here. I'm in a little bubble. I'm in an eggshell. You know what I'm saying? Like, compared to, like, some fucking, like, crazy-ass area in fucking Russia or Afghanistan or something where life and death is fucking, you know, real every day and shit, and the line is real thin between the two. And then I'll fucking I'll look at it like Yelp or something, and I'll be like, well, I didn't like what they had on TV at this restaurant. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be way better than this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, never mind. Like, if this is... I'm way better on the scale here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was just thinking about Afghani kids, you know? I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, dude. Fucking. You know what? So I've been trying to fucking keep the screen thing up with my fucking phone here the whole time because I wanted to. This is like I don't have a ton of fucking clips the last week because I had so much shit come up. This is really interesting though. This one I have shit that will come up on social media that I'll save. This one was kind of interesting, so I saved it. Hold on, let me start it over. See what you think about this fucking chick. What she has to say. Oh, it's going to start over here, actually. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. God damn it.
Okay, men, this is for you. Shoot your fucking shot. Shoot the fuck out that shot. And if you miss, shoot the fuck again, okay? Because a lot of you could be pulling women way out of your league. Okay.
It's almost, the reason why I thought it was weird is I feel like she's like mad while she's saying it. You know what I mean? She seems like she's like emotional to the point where she's like upset about it or something. Like, I don't even understand what your fucking message is there.
There's plenty of ugly dudes with way better looking women.
Yeah. I don't understand. But I don't understand. It's almost like, I don't know what the fuck, because it's like what she's saying compared to the tone of her voice and the fucking look on her face. Like, you're not missing much if you're just listening to this. If you're just listening to this, it's exactly what you heard. It's the chick just talking to the camera on her phone on a TikTok, but it's just, she's just got this look on her face like she's pissed at whoever she's directing this shit at.
Yeah.
That's why it was so funny to me. It was like, what you're saying doesn't match with your tone of voice and the expression on your face. You know what I mean? It's not just like, hey guys, just letting you know. Don't be afraid to talk to women because you might be able to get that one you don't think you should get.
Yeah, it's not advice.
Yeah, it wasn't like encouraging, or it wasn't like in a way, what she was saying I feel like should have been said in a way different way. What she was saying is like, fuck these motherfuckers that try to fuck. That's what the tone was.
Yeah.
So it was one of those examples where how you say something is so, it's almost more important than the fucking words you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the way you present it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Kanye and Pete Davidson were with Kim Kardashian. Like
Yeah.
the way out of the leagues thing has been working. Like that's not an issue.
Well, that's a different. That's
charged up about.
Well, that's a slippery slope example, right? Because those guys are famous, they're really successful in each of what they do.
That is a weird one,
right? Because it's not like they're just some random asshole.
They have talent, but they're ugly, and she is good looking, but has.
Is Kanye ugly? Is he universally ugly?
I think he's ugly, according to South Park, and I trust South Park.
Does South Park say he's ugly?
Yeah, it's
that's the decider right there. End of conversation. Period. I didn't know that. I haven't watched a lot of new South Park episodes, which I should. I'm behind, man. Those
I just
guys
watched
are geniuses
the recent
for sure.
one where Tolkien was named after J.R. Tolkien.
Oh shit! I remember. That's an older one, right?
I think it was a new one.
Oh,
I don't know. I
it
might
sounds
just be shuffling on HBO. I don't know.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, Tolkien's the black kid, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, remember the one where this is old, but remember the one where he's just good at bass because he's black,
I don't remember that.
and he's like, I'm not good at bass, man. I've never played bass before. And they're like, dude, you're black. You're gonna be good at bass. And he picks it up and he's fucking awesome at it. And he's like, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, those guys, man. Super. Those guys are the greatest because even before all the crazy, woke era and, Me Too era and stuff, like way before that, like they have always made fun of everybody indiscriminately. Like they fucking make fun of everybody equally. They don't take a side. They don't try to like, you know what I'm saying? They don't try to like virtue signal or whatever the fuck, like in any other episodes.
Push
like,
boundaries on both sides equally. Yeah.
Equally, dude.
Go after
politics, social issues, everything. They fucking, everybody's fair game to be made fun of, and they've made fun of everybody and everything.
And then you stay unpredictable, Mm-hmm. That's why I still get excited when the theme song plays, you know what I mean? Like I was watching it in junior high, like around when Chappelle's show would come on. It was like South Park and Chappelle's show and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, good shit.
That was interesting, dude. Here's another one that I don't even know how this struck me, but this is something else that was interesting that I came across. No, actually, you know what? I don't even want to go through the motions of the screen and all that shit to play that one. That one's not even that great. But it's not a fucking heavy clip week, but that one was weird. And that's why I've actually been wanting to talk about that one for a couple episodes, but there's never been time, and I always forget. And then I look at my phone. I'm like, fuck, there's that fucking one bitch I wanted to talk about. But fucking, it is weird. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of that. I feel like a lot of that comes from, I don't know if you agree or not. I feel like a lot of that comes from certain people that do a lot of shit on social media. I feel like if you meet those people in person, they're going to be super socially awkward. Like they don't know how to interact with people.
The TikTokers?
Not even necessarily famous ones. Like the people that, like, I bet I have a strong feeling, could be totally fucking wrong, but I have a strong feeling if you met that girl in person, like she'd be weird.
She wouldn't be the one shooting her shot to the one out of her league.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. You're probably right, dude. I don't know.
Or have you ever met somebody, have you ever done the reverse where you can, because this is what's happened to me where I see, this is why people are like this, online versus in person. I have met people in person that were very standoffish or whatever and seemed a little weird,
Yeah.
And not like cool weird, like fucking just like, it's like bizarre, you know what I mean?
Right.
They kind of rub you the wrong way a little bit, but you don't say anything about it.
Yeah.
And then you see something that they talk about, like on social media or something they post, or like the way they present themselves in a video or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Oh, okay. Like
starts to add up.
Yeah. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
I see. And then that changes your perception anytime you see anybody like that. You're like, is this person weird like that in person too? Like that.
That's
other
the
person?
comedy community. That's the whole thing. That's everything. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, from what I've seen at least, I think a lot of people are pretty close to who they are. I think this is more just maybe people that, I feel like a lot of stuff today, like have you ever made TikToks or anything?
No. So I made one and when I made my Instagram, but then I never put anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just started. I'm doing like multiple every week, and I just started maybe like.
Are you doing clips
within a month
the
ago.
podcast or like your stand up?
I started doing the clips. Podcast clips is what I started with. Then I started doing skits and funny things that I thought would be cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sketches. And I've gotten one that got like fucking almost 60K views. You know what I mean? It got shared a bunch of times. Yeah, it went pretty little mini viral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tons of comments, tons of fucking shares. I got like 180 or 150 follows or something out of one. and then another one. I did instead of Breaking Bad, I did Breaking Dad. So like the baby cries, and then you fucking chop up the formula and fucking cook it, and then you put it in the bottle. That one got like 11K and like a bunch of comments. But people fucking hyped me up on that, and they jacked me off, dude. Because like the first couple commenters on that post, dude, they were like, "Your channel's about to blow up, dude." And then people started commenting
baby stuff. Yeah.
People started commenting here before viral, and I was like, "Oh, here it goes." So I was like, I didn't look, I didn't log in, I didn't open it, and I waited overnight, and I was like, "Yeah." Because this Breaking Dad was after my first one that I did that got a lot of traction, right? So I was like, oh, this one's going to be even bigger because people were already saying here before viral, right?
The last one.
So I'm thinking like, so I opened it up in the morning, like, here we go, you know, let's see what we got. And it was like it wasn't bad, but it was 30 follows and fucking like, you know, like 10,000 views, which is fine. That's still nice. That's still fucking cool. That's way above average. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it was like these guys fucking jacked me because like I thought it was gonna be like huge because they were like, dude, you're about to blow.
That's what I hear is the cool thing is stuff just catches like crazy, like random stuff.
Yeah, so what's really interesting about so the only reason I know this as a person, like as me personally, I've never been a big social media, social network person. Like I never, the only reason I know quite a bit about it and the only reason I've been really involved with it over the years, MySpace, Facebook, and on to Instagram and, you know, everything.
Right.
Is just because of the music industry, right? So like the bands I was in, the music groups I'm a part of, the current one I'm a part of, like you have to, right? So that's how and I've done a lot of research about it. I've gained a lot of fans through it. You know, and so I know quite a bit about how it works. Yeah. And the way that TikTok is right now in 2021, 2022, you know, is the way Instagram was. It's like hot the way Instagram was like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Oh, gotcha.
Like where like people are on it, it's like the cool new fucking hottest way to communicate, and everybody's super excited and everybody looks at everything even if it's not that good. Quickly. Yeah, now Instagram is like way oversaturated. There's all these rules because of Facebook has been cracked down on, and you know they faced a lot of heat. Everybody, like there's so many bots and so much spam, and there's less regulations too on there. So like, you know, you can try to promote your OnlyFans, you can low key be a hooker on there, you know what I mean? And you know, you can kind of get away with it. Yeah, if you didn't know, that's what I brought you here to tell you. But it's oversaturated. You know, everybody's on there. Everybody knows about it. People that are 60 years old are on fucking Instagram now. You know what I mean? It's not like where the kids are at, right? TikTok is still, you know, way skewed to the young. You know what I mean? Like, we're old for TikTok. You know what I mean? For like the way it skews. So it's super hot. Everybody's on there all the time, and like everybody's consuming shit. You know? So what do you have this look on your face?
It sounds like Epstein's TikTok, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it's young. It's a young audience.
It's super hot for these kids.
We're old, and these kids are on there, and it's fucking hot. Goddamn. No,
my grandma's on Instagram. Let's shift over to TikTok.
Yeah, if you want to see fucking boring adult women, go to Instagram. If you want to see some hot kids.
You see that shift from like Facebook is like old people now, and
then
like,
do you remember when Facebook was cool? Like it was like that's how everybody was on there. Everybody was on Facebook all the fucking time. You had to be on Facebook. Like if you weren't on Facebook and you were like single and trying to meet a girl or whatever, it was weird if you didn't have a Facebook.
I don't know why MySpace was always better. Facebook was just blue and white. It was like a library in there. MySpace you could have like a cool background and a song.
Well, it became cool to not customize, right? It became cool for the place to customize for you.
Oh, that's what happened.
Well, yeah, because MySpace was HTML, so you could make it your own and all that shit and change everything. And then Facebook kind of flipped the game upside down and went like, no, you know what? It's not about what you make it. It's about like what you say and who you meet. You know what I mean? They made it more about like the conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, I'm just saying that was kind of what they did.
Yeah, it's like less artistic, dude. I don't like it.
Well, actually, that's not true because I was the fucking semi OG Facebook person because I got on there when like it was like that threshold right before you still had to be have a college email. It was like right before they opened it up to everybody. Right.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a time.
There was a time. Oh, yeah. So at first it was only Harvard, right? And then and then it was colleges, right? So if you had an EDU address, you had to be at least say you went to college. You had to be like a college student or whatever. That's who they marketed it towards. And then when it like became a big deal, that's when they opened it up to everybody.
Oh, okay.
You know Gmail. You know Gmail used to be invite only, way back in the day.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you used to have to have someone with a Gmail to give you a Gmail. Yeah, and then they opened it up to everybody.
Damn, I barely even know how to email, and I got a Gmail. You know?
Yeah, dude. Damn. Yeah. So like,
their bar.
So like, what's it called? What was my fucking point with that? Facebook used to be, I remember this, when, it was only on the computer, it wasn't on your phone at all. Right before when they opened up for everybody, it was a lot like MySpace. It was very HTML-y. Like, it was very like big zoomed in shit and customized a little bit and stuff like that. It was a little bit like that. And then they changed it and made it super like the uniform.
Dude, this is going to be like an old man fucking pod now. Like
it is.
You remember Zanga?
I don't.
Dude, that was like before MySpace. It was like kind of like MySpace.
I thought it was like Friendster.
Wasn't
Wasn't
like,
that before MySpace?
Maybe. That might have been one too.
I don't know.
I knew it was like I think it was Xanga. It sounds like a fucking porn site or something. It was like MySpace, but just like blocky. It would be like, you can make it a red blob and with an orange background with like your fucking face, and you add your friends the same way.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah,
Which I didn't have any fucking friends. I don't know why I even had one. I have internet friends back then.
It is interesting though, like how things evolve and how things are really like popular, and they get used, like they're really cool and really effective, and then they just get corrupted and everything completely changes. Like if you watch, going back to those fucking old Joe Rogan episodes from like 10, 12 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
That's, dude, they talk about how cool Twitter is in every fucking episode, dude.
Yeah.
Like every episode they're talking about like how it's, you instantaneously get in touch with people. You can promote shit. It's blowing up. Everybody's on there. It's the great fucking thing. Tweet this, tweet that, Twitter this, Twitter that. And then now it's like Twitter's fucking horrible. Like it's fucking cancerous, and it's like causes all these problems. You know what I mean? It's so funny how it's like, and then he'll be like, fucking, dude, I post something on Twitter and I never look at it. You know what I mean? Back then they're like, it's so funny to hear him, because they're like in like 2010, 2011, they're like Twitter, you know?
Yeah. That's what I'm taking a college class right now. It's boring as hell. And that's what I had to write a paper about this past weekend, was about how phones are just kind of taking over. Nomophobia, like people that are getting addicted to their phones and stuff, which is tough in comedy, because you feel like I'm bad at social media stuff too, but I feel like I gotta try to post stuff. So I like post stuff every now and then into my Instagram stories and stuff. I'm trying to make a thing of it, but it's tough. I'll take pictures of like toilets every now and then. That's all it is. Just weird shit. But
I
once
feel
you
like
start getting booked a little more, I feel like there's more of a reason to start publicizing yourself, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
I talk about that all the time with older comics. Like, when do you start? I would hate to start putting out videos and stuff like that, or especially a stand-up clip. I'm real cautious about. Somebody asked me about that this past weekend, asking me if I would want to post a clip from a set, or if they could post a clip from a set. And I was like, I don't know, because I don't know if I'm going to look at that joke the same way a year from now. You know what I mean? And I don't trust myself as a comic yet, being a year in, you know? So.
Did you ever listen to Comedy Gold Mines?
The Kevin Hart one? Yeah.
Did you ever listen to Patton Oswalt's episode?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
He said something. He's nailed that right on the head. So he was talking about that, and he's like, man, the day and age that you're in right now, like I'll see like young comics, I'll see new comics, and they'll be posting, like they've been doing comedy for like a year or less, and like they're posting clips from their open mic sets. And it's like, dude, don't do that. He's like, because you're just barely figuring this out. You don't want that out there as like who you are. Like, because he's like, because that's going to change, and you don't want to advertise that. Don't advertise what you're becoming. Advertise what you become after you've been doing it a few years. That's what his whole thing was. He's like, I'm so glad I didn't start comedy. I started comedy when that was like impossible. Like there was no social media, there was no internet, so there was no, unless I brought a camcorder to my open mic, there was no way. And he's like, and back then that would have been fucking weird. You know what I mean? So he's like, don't do that. Like, you know, like you should wait. You know. So I agree. That's why I'm kind of like, I'll film myself, like if it's like I've filmed myself twice so far, like at shows that were like a big deal with like a nice crowd and shit at like a club, just so I could, like, you know, and that's how I got this private spot. That's how I got like a little things. But I'm not putting it on and advertising it to be like, look at me, this is my comedy. You know what I mean?
You need good videos too. I mean, you got to have something to send to bookers and everything. That's
because you got to start somewhere. You got to start getting guest spots and getting host spots and getting shit.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Yeah, you got to make a push for that whenever you can. So just tough to find that room that's not a empty open mic where you have a good set. Or
that's why it's so important to film it when it's good. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Which that Tyler place is good for it, because there's like little tight rooms. You know what I mean? The 20 people in there, it sounds fucking packed. You know what I'm saying? It is packed.
Right.
But,
Dude, before I started, those kind of situations would seem like fucking nightmares to me. Like a tiny little room where everybody's real close to you. I'd be like,
oh yeah, man.
I want them far away. I want
Isn't
to
it
not be able
cool?
to see anybody.
Isn't
now
it
I'm
cool
like,
how
I
much
crave
like
it.
you've grown? Like I remember being 3 months in. I was talking to John Moore, and he was like, I was like, how long are you in? Or whoever, I think it was John Moore. He was like, 6 months in. I was like, 6 months. He was like, forever. You know what I mean? Like, how much better will you be then? And because it takes so long to work on your jokes and just to get decent material or whatever, or to get any kind of jokes that's passable. Getting like a year in and being able to do like 10 minutes, that like, holy shit. Not saying it was a tight 10 or anything like that, but just getting to that point pumps me up, you know?
Big time.
Remembering how scared you were to do that first 3 a year ago, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because
You
you hit a
started
year.
around this time too, right?
No, June.
Oh, yeah.
June.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll hit a year in 2022.
Yeah.
We both will.
Hell yeah.
I think it's you, me, Jordan.
Yeah. Jordan J?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He is in January.
Yeah, that guy's awesome. He's hilarious.
You, me, Jordan. Who else is going to? Jacob is going to. I'm trying to think of who else. Danny's already been a couple years. Who else is going to have
Diego
a year?
and then,
Diego is going to. Yeah.
A lot of funny newer guys, man.
Corey Cherry.
Yeah,
He's gonna.
yeah.
He did actually. I think right at the beginning of the year.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's like a class. As a class of
Yeah.
2021. I think it's true. I think that shit's real. That you do that in AA too. Like when you get sober, you got a class.
I hated it
people
at
that
first
you get sober with
because it makes it sound like everybody's gonna graduate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's,
Well, hey, bro, you got high school class too. Not everybody fucking graduates.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So yeah, it's like a
But I
class
get
that you
it.
start with.
So,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
people,
yeah.
and it's just like, and it's you listen to all these fucking big podcasts, and you're like, dude. It's true. That's because everybody talks about the
Yeah,
people,
for sure.
you know, give or take. Everybody doesn't start on the same day and the same month or same year necessarily, but everybody's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
right around the same, you know, like fucking Shiva and John Brown. Those guys are in a different class.
Yeah, they're in like the same
They're way
bubble,
ahead.
like-
yeah,
yeah.
like, you know, at least at this point in time, they started like way before we did. you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
Like, so yeah, it's interesting though, because like we were talking about, like you're talking about growth. Those rooms that are like backdoorish, like small, tight,
Yeah.
intimate, people are right here.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and if there's a lot of people, they're right in front of you. You
Kind of
know,
intimidating.
dude, I crave that now. I
Oh,
love
yeah,
that now.
for
Now,
sure.
like I'm just now getting to the point where I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's bring
Yeah,
it on.
yeah.
Let me talk to you. Let me see your faces. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Let me tell this shit to you.
Yeah.
You know. But whereas before, dude, like fucking 2 months, 3 months, oh Jesus Christ! Like
Yeah.
let me fucking go over here in my corner. I don't want to
Yeah.
talk to you. Like I remember when I did Twilight one of the first times, dude. This girl was like fucking. She flipped me. She was psycho. First of all, like the things I was saying did not warrant this at all. She was just fucking crazy, and then her boyfriend tried to fight somebody later on. So it wasn't me. It was them definitely. But I didn't know how to deal with it. She flipped me off during the fucking set and was like, "Boo!" Right? And I didn't know how to fucking react to it, dude. And then I was like, when I was like, all right, I guess I'll end with this one or whatever. And then she was like, yeah, dude, it was great. It was great for me to experience that, right? So then I was like, I didn't know how to deal with it to the point where I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna end. And I fucking just ended it, dude. Put the mic back in the stand and walked
That's
off.
a point. Read the room. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
a point.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
about it.
Yeah. So you just fucking never did. Like, so now I would just be totally. I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to try to sound like a fucking master of comedy, but I would be way more comfortable with that now than I was then. And I would have been able to recover and still go back into something. Whereas then I was not prepared. You know what I'm saying? And I did not. Whereas now I would do my full time. Because like now you also realize, like when you start doing it for a little while, you start to realize how precious like that stage time is. Like when you're out there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like you only get 5 minutes, you only get 7 minutes, you only get 3 minutes. So it's like I want to use up like improv yesterday. I used every fucking second.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't go
for sure.
over, but I went down to the fucking second.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you start to realize like, oh, that 20 seconds I got left, I could get real work done in that 20 seconds.
Yeah. I noticed you're doing that too. Like you're like, you throw something in real quick. You know what I'm saying? At the end.
I try to.
Just so you can use it up the time.
Yeah, yeah. And I was kicking myself. I had a stupid fucking fish tank. A joke about a fish tank, dude. And it was like every time I would get the light, I was like I kind of conditioned myself in a bad way to where I knew that joke was about a minute and I kept burning out before I would get the light. And then I'd get the light and then tell this stupid fucking joke. And then I got to the point where I was like, I get the light, and I was at a mic at I think it was Dusty's. I was like, all right, usually I get the light and I tell this fucking fish tank joke. I'm not doing it. Just talked about the joke I wasn't gonna do, and that felt better than doing the joke. You know what I mean? Not that was like obviously just ranting about a joke that sucks, didn't kill, but it was better than falling back on the same shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
A joke that doesn't work, it just kind of fits, and it's laziness, you know. But I've been trying to work on like a couple shorter jokes that if I'm making my way off stage and just can throw something out there real quick. I like little one-liners, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a lot. I've been trying to work on those.
Yeah. I'll tell you though, man, the amazing thing about like, you know, I don't know, I've heard mixed things from different comedians. Like sometimes people say good things about Austin, like open mics, and sometimes people say bad things about Austin open mics.
Yeah,
But I'll tell you, dude, Dallas, Fort Worth, just because that's where we live and that's where we are more often than Austin, coming from a big city, coming from LA and like having been exposed to some of those open mics and the comedy stuff there.
Right.
Like, I'll tell you, dude, it is amazing here comparatively. Like as a new comedian, as someone who's brand new, you get if, at least from my perspective and what I've heard and what I've seen, man, like correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm missing something, then whatever. But dude, you get so much more fucking stage time in front of real people here than you ever would in LA.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, dude, 90% of the open mics you're going to be doing there are going to be in front of comics. You know what I'm saying? Only. You know what I'm saying? Rarely will you be doing comedy in front of this many regular people.
Right.
Like you do here. Like here, dude, you can do comedy in front of at least some kind of crowd, whether it's 3 or 4 people, let alone fucking 20 or 30.
Yeah.
You can do that shit multiple times a week here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like without trying that hard. And it's not about getting lucky. Like even on a horrible week, you'll get at least 1 or 2 opportunities at a weekly open mic to do comedy for at least a couple tables of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you pick your spots, you can get good, valuable time every time you get. I mean, I think valuable time is empty rooms and stuff like that too right now for us.
For certain purposes.
If you're like not wanting to do that, there's ways around it, I think. Like I've heard a lot of comics that don't want to hit the hat tricks out there and stuff like that. But
this is so my opinion on it, me personally, and obviously this is worth whatever it's not, it's my opinion.
Yeah.
But I feel like as long as people are listening, or if you're in a room with other comics and stuff, you can work on new stuff. You can kind of just get practice, like getting up there. But that's all you're going to be doing most of the time if you're fucking brand new in New York or LA.
Yeah.
Versus here, you get so many opportunities to work. I wouldn't be able to have so much shit right now that I know works. If I was there, if I was like in LA versus here at this stage in the game, no fucking way.
Yeah.
No way. Like, I feel like, once again, my opinion, feel free to disagree. I feel like in a place like this, doing comedy in fucking DFW and Dallas Fort Worth area, you can get better faster here because you have that opportunity to be exposed to these real crowds.
For sure.
You know?
I think I don't know either, but in LA, I imagine a lot of people getting kind of caught up in the wrong angle. You know what I mean? Trying not focusing on getting better at comedy, but focusing on getting seen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you can see it too. And I feel like Austin has a lot more of that. I mean, you've done a good handful of mics down there. I've done a couple.
Not enough to get like a real feel of like the judgment, because I hear the differences too of like
some
Austin
people were like,
and
"What are you talking
Dallas,
about? There's
and I
good
still
shows there all
can't
the
read it.
time. I do comedy in front of
yeah.
people all the time." I hear guys that have moved to Austin say that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I'm not trying to say that their experience isn't true.
Right.
I'm just saying from what I've seen, it's the mics that I've been in Austin are very LA-ish in the sense that it's like 60 comics standing around not listening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like if you watch something like Kill Tony where you see all these people go up, and you went on it when they were in Dallas, I feel like doing comedy in a test situation like that where you're trying to get honest fucking no bullshit feedback about how you're going to do.
Yeah.
A lot of the LA episodes and then a lot of Austin shit too, I feel. That's why I feel like a lot of them, the ones that have been doing comedy for a while and still go up there and bomb, I feel like that's why, because they're not, like you said, you're not getting the right exposure. You're in a lane where you think you're doing well because you're making these 5 comics laugh, but you haven't had an opportunity to do comedy in front of fucking 10, 20, 30, 40 regular people and see if they think your shit's funny or not. You know what I mean? And here you get so many opportunities to do that here.
Yeah.
It blows me away. Like, I remember the first time I went to improv when I didn't know Diego as well. He was like, hey, what's up, man? Just to let you know, I mean, it's not really going to be like a big crowd. We might just get like a couple tables. I was like, a couple tables?
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you just never know. Like, but anyway, I don't know. We're ranting on. And we went way over time.
Shitty mics.
Yeah, but that's the thing, dude. I could talk about fucking stand-up comedy all fucking night. I know
that's
you
the only
could
thing
too.
I give a shit about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's yeah. I've realized that it's the only thing that I give a shit about.
Yeah, like I could talk about it all night. I know you could too.
Yeah.
And like I see what all these like professional comedians talk about all the time.
Yeah.
When they're like fucking, dude, it's like you sit there and fucking talk comedy.
Yeah.
You hear Mark Norman talk about, we just talked about stand up till 6 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah. I'd love that. And he talks about it on the pods too. Like, you'll catch him being like, this is probably boring as hell for everybody listening. And I'm like, dude, keep fucking going. Like,
yeah, I don't know if it is boring for other
for.
people, but it's fucking exciting for me. And that's another reason why I'm going back and listening to a lot of the, like, one of my best friends, like he was in my wedding. He's been one of my really close friends for a long ass time. Yeah. He got into Joe Rogan like way before, dude, 2013. Like he was in early as fuck. Yeah. And he told me about it. And I like back in 2014 or whatever, and I was just kind of like, whatever. I didn't care. I didn't like buy in yet.
Right.
It took me a while to get into it, but then I got really into it, and I have been for a few years, several years. But anyway, I went back again and like watched and listened to a few of those old episodes. They have way more of those conversations back then because it was all comedians. He didn't have big celebrity guests yet. He didn't have fucking Elon on there. He didn't have
right.
He was popular.
It was his buddies still.
It was just his buddies. So they're just talking about fucking gigs and fucking all the shit.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Dude, yeah, that pumps me up. I'm gonna go back and listen to some old ones.
It's really cool. It's really cool. Like he talks like Bill Burr has been on there since like the first couple episodes, and
so he's one of, who are some of your, I don't know if I've asked you, who are some of your favorite comics? Like, your like top guys or whatever.
So this is what I say. I have two like categories, right? So the first one is like, if you want to talk about like who arguably are the best comedians of all time, like you got to say like Richard Pryor, you got to say Rodney Dangerfield, you got to say like all the fucking classic
the ones
people.
You got to name.
Yeah, it's like the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, you know what I mean? Rolling Stones, you have to say those, right?
Yeah.
So those are the fucking greats. Those are the foundation layers.
Right.
Those are the classics
but
for
who are
sure.
Like your guys.
Me personally, my personal inspirations.
Yeah.
It's a rotating third spot, but I'll have to say number one in terms of like inspirational comedians who like made me go like, man, if I could someday hopefully be somewhere in the vicinity of that, maybe that would be unreal. Louis C.K. is number one, right, for me. Number two is Daniel Tosh.
Okay.
And and number three, this is a rotating seat. It's either Cat Williams.
Okay.
It's a wild card, bro. It's Cat Williams or Bill Burr.
Okay.
Or maybe like I'll throw in like Dave Chappelle or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but first like go to, if I had to name one person that's like inspiration where it's like, bro, fuck, like this guy makes me want to go do this, is fucking a tie between Louis C.K. and Daniel Tosh.
I got you.
For sure. I don't know if you're a big Daniel Tosh fan at all.
I am. Yeah. I love Daniel Tosh. Yeah.
So I went back and watched. Have you seen his first big special that he did, Completely Serious?
Yeah.
That was like his first big TV special or whatever. I went back and watched that for the first time in like 10 years as like somebody who's doing open mics like all the fucking time. Like I'm doing stand-up comedy a lot now.
Yeah.
So like I watched it with that lens on. Dude, the first 5 minutes of that fucking special, he fires off like 20 fucking jokes.
Dude, me and Jacob Marshall listened to that last time we were coming up from Austin.
Completely Serious?
Playing it. And he was saying the exact same thing about how much he fires off from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super packed.
Like you listen to it, and I've seen that special several times, right?
Way more impressive now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy fuck. I look at the time signature, or the fucking clock, and I'm like, God, dude, he fired off. That's so many.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then it's really interesting too, though, because you go back and watch tons of YouTube clips of him when he's way younger.
Yeah.
He tells different renditions of those jokes for years, obviously. You know what I mean? And it's funny when you see him in the early 2000s when he's way younger, and you can tell he's way green, and he's like way less confident. Like he's doing big spots. Like he's doing like a TV appearance on Comedy Central, but he's so green.
Right,
You can tell he's way less confident, way less. And then you watch Completely Serious, and he's fucking fire. Like, he's on fire, dude. He's like fucking red hot. He's been doing this shit 10 years in the game. He's like on fucking fire. That special is my favorite, dude. He's so good in that special. So that special was like, fuck, dude, this guy's great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Put you on to comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like Louis' show, man. I think people don't give his
me
show
too.
enough credit. A lot of people were like, I like the stand-up sections, but I don't like the writing. I don't like, not they didn't say I don't like the writing, but they say like I don't like the show part of it. I loved the show.
Dude, it makes me like feel good. Just every bit of it is awesome.
Do you remember the one with the chick who has kids that go to his kids' same school and like they fuck or whatever, and then like she's like, go
That's
get
what
blueberries?
I just said when I said it makes me feel good. In my head, I was like, accept that episode.
Oh yeah, you don't like that one?
It's the creepy one, right? Where he's spanking her at the end.
I think so. And she's like, go get blueberries or whatever the fuck. I think it's called Blueberries. I can't remember. It's been so long. That one's good. Or the one where he meets the chick from a school that was like through Facebook. He reunites with her and shit. There's that one.
I think I'm confusing the same ones.
Okay.
But the one I'm thinking of is that the one you're talking about where he sleeps with her at the end?
Yeah.
And it's like a mom from his school or something
Yes.
like that.
Yes. There's two different women. The two things that I said are two different women, but yes, those two episodes are fucking. I think the writing, because it's him, so I think the writing.
Yeah.
Remember when he like the guy from what's the fucking actor's name from Cable Guy and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and he asked him to be in his movie. He's like, it's like his manager calls him up. He's like, it's like The Godfather, but with all Jews. You don't remember that one? And like he keeps doing these takes where he's playing a cop. And he's like, he's supposed to say, your father's dead. Like, that's his line. So Louis C.K. is supposed to play a cop. That actor, whatever the fuck that guy's name is, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Cable Guy and shit. He's been in, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Nah.
The fucking
Cable Guy and Ferris Bueller's Day
I'm going to look
Off.
up what the guy's name is.
I know,
right
I'm going to
now.
feel like an asshole when you show me the guy.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's, you're not talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman? He was in Cable Guy, right?
This fucking guy. This dude. What's his fucking name? People are fucking yelling it out right now. God damn it. What's his fucking name? Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, yeah, I turned the fucking TV off. You can't even see what I'm doing. I'm talking to you like you can see what I'm fucking doing. God damn it.
You said he was a cop?
Matthew Broderick.
Oh. He was in Louis?
Yeah. So
Fuck, I don't remember.
it was
that
an
at all.
episode where he was playing himself. He was Matthew Broderick, the actor, right?
Okay.
And he was doing a film. He was directing it though.
Yeah.
And this is all fictional. It was
Right.
Louis' manager calls him up, this old guy, right?
Uh-huh.
Who then gets replaced by a guy who looks like 12. And like he's like making fun of.
Yeah.
So he's like calls him up. He's like, I got you this part of this movie. It's Matthew Broderick's movie. He's directing this movie. It's like The Godfather, but all Jews, right? So he's like, okay. He's like, you're gonna play a police officer. So he plays a police officer, and his line is, "Your father's dead." That's all he's supposed to do. So then Matthew Broderick is acting in it too. So he comes up to him, and fucking Louis C.K. is like, fucking, "Your father is dead," you know? And fucking he's like, let's take it again. And then they do like a bunch of takes where he's like, your father's dead, you know? He does all this shit, and he like keeps getting annoyed with him, and he's like, are you able to do this? Like, are you gonna be able to do this? And he's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to act. And he's like, you know, he just gets like frustrated with it. It's so good, dude.
That's awesome.
And then he like goes to a bodega, like a regular store, in the cop uniform, and he gets donuts, and he's sitting there eating donuts. Oh man, I like the show, man. Fuck everybody who doesn't like it.
Yeah.
It's fucking canceled now. Shit's
Did you
not coming
see
back.
Bill Burr in King of Staten Island?
Yeah,
Did you like that?
Yeah.
I thought he was a good actor.
I think it's great. I liked him, and even though it wasn't a big part, I liked him in Breaking Bad. I mean, he didn't say anything.
Oh, yeah,
he was just like a goon.
Yeah, I like that movie, King of Staten Island.
My favorite. What's your favorite Bill Burr special?
Dude, I don't know. I was going back.
What
trying
are
to
your
figure
three
out
though? What are yours? What are your inspirations? I didn't ask you.
Oh, well, Louis, Bill Burr, and Zach Galifianakis.
Okay.
I think those are my top three.
Where that's
I think
inspired
it
you,
was
where you're
like-
like, man, if I could be like this
Yeah, like,
on this level, at least.
yeah. I think the first person that like caught my eye was Zach Galifianakis. I watches like Comedy Central Presents when I was a kid. I used to watch the Comedy Central Presents all the time and stuff. And I remember going to school and stuff and be like, did you see the dude playing the piano wearing the dress at the end? Like trying to talk to my buddies and just finding those one or two dudes who knew what I was talking about. You know what I mean? That was a cool moment. But then growing up, it was like Bill Burr, I related to a lot because you have like the angst of growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was cool to relate to his annoyed aggression. But then Louis, I think, is my favorite now. You know what I mean? I think he's the most complete comic. He's he's at the top of my list. But I think I admire Zach Galifianakis the most. I like his awkward energy.
Definitely unique.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unique.
I like how he can kind of just shift the tone of the room and everything. You don't know where he's gonna go with his stuff. I love that.
Or he'll mess up on specials I've seen. He'll mess up what he's saying halfway through and make a joke out of that.
Yeah.
Like he'll unintentionally fuck up, but he'll use it.
Yeah.
And it'll be funny.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think I like it so much because I'm so unlike that. Not just in stand. I mean, it takes me a long time to warm up to people. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I'm pretty low key naturally, so that that awkward, almost dark goofiness. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes he has like kind of a depressed look that he just leans into. You're like, when is he gonna get us out of this? You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
He controls the room in weird ways.
He does.
That
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. My thing with I remember the first time I saw Louis C.K. was when it was something I was watching with comedy, and like, you know, he wasn't the main guy. He was just one of the guys. It was like some kind of special where they had multiple comedians, and he went up there and he did a bunch of jokes about his daughters. You know?
Oh yeah.
And dude, at the time I'm like 21, 22. I don't have any kids. I'm fucking college age. I'm fucking a musician. I'm, you know, trying to bang chicks. I'm fucking like out there, like, and my point is, I was in a completely different stage of life. Everything that he was talking about, I could not relate to at all. You know what I'm saying? He was divorced, middle-aged, you know, or late 30s, early 40s, whatever the fuck.
For sure. Like
kids, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the way that he talked about it was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, I fucking love this guy. You know what I mean? And he presented it like he's just having a conversation, like he's just talking right to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he's so, you can feel the honesty. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like he does. I don't know if you remember that. It's like an older like joke where he's talking about how his daughters annoy him, and like his 5-year-old daughter was like fucking. She plays hide and seek, and she just goes and fucking crouches. She doesn't even hide. She just sits there, and I'm supposed to look for her. It's just so fucking good. And because a lot of people say like, well, it's people you relate to at the time. Dude, I didn't relate to anything. That guy, totally different stage in life, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to do anything that fucking guy did at the time when I watched that shit.
Right.
But it was so funny to me. You know what I mean?
Still kills you. Yeah.
That's where I think like everything at a point can be like universal, you know?
Yeah. When you're that good, for sure.
Yeah. If you got something that's good, it doesn't matter who you're saying it to or how old they are. As long as they understand what you're talking about, like, it's good, you know? Yeah.
That's what's tough, dude. Getting into something that's honest that you can actually talk about, that you give a shit about. Because, dude, all the jokes now, like all my jokes are less than a minute long usually. You know what I mean? Like, but different topics. Like a 10-minute set, I'm gonna talk about 10 different things that probably don't have to do with each other. You know what I mean? Like I can't wait to get to the point where I can get invested in something I actually give a shit about. Who cares about what we're talking about ever on stage? You know what I mean? What's worth talking about? You know? Yeah. It's so hard to write something worth giving a shit about. You know?
Yeah.
Nothing's funny once you start stand up, you know? Nothing's funny anymore.
Yeah. It's weird, right? It's weird. Fucking crazy.
Come see a show. Nothing's funny anymore.
Well, fuck, man. This is fucking great. I got to have you back now that you know where it is and how to get here and shit. I'm going to get another, definitely in the next couple months, if not sooner, I'm going to get another mic and another camera, because I personally think it's way more fun when we got 2 guests, when we got 3 people. I feel like it's way more of a hang. Way more of a hang. 4 might be a little overkill. It's a little too many cooks in the kitchen, but 3 is fun as fuck. I've done 2 where it's 3 and it's way better.
Juggle energy.
Because I don't have a producer. So like there's not that third person to bounce shit off of. You know what I'm saying? So if you have 2 guests, it's great, because then you got 3 people that are fucking around and, you know, one person doesn't have to fucking carry the energy all the time. It can be, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's way more fun, and the clips are going to be way more fun that way too. So anyway, I got to have you back for one of those sometime soon in the future. But we already said where we're going to be. Follow Cody at what's your Instagram?
SWINDE11. Yeah, Swindell with ones.
With ones, like the towers.
Yeah.
And that's why you did it. Just show that we're all one.
Yeah, they're still standing.
So follow him, and then if you're still fucking listening to this, leave me a 5-star rating on Spotify. If you listen on Spotify, leave me a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts if that's where you listen. I got the, everybody's gonna be killing me for saying this over, but I got to do it. We got the YouTube up. There's multiple cameras. Go there, subscribe, listen and watch there, or listen and then go watch, or whatever you want to do. If you just want to listen, that's fine. But if you do want to check out the video, by all means, check out the fucking YouTube. Look up Crux Crawford. You'll find it. It's there. Look up Crux. Yeah, you'll find it. There's nothing else with that title. You'll easily find the episodes. Yeah, man, I got it up and going. Thanks so much for everybody that's listening. There's been a shitload of downloads coming in, especially since I started promoting it more. And thanks to everybody who's been with me since the beginning, listening because of the music shit or whatever. What the fuck else was I going to say? I was going to say one more. Oh, yeah. Dude, if you want to send me clips to talk about or share or whatever the fuck, cruxcrawford@gmail.com. Throw me everything that you got, and then I'll be sure to look at it and talk about it and shit. Don't send me your dick, please. I won't look at that or talk. Well, I'll have to look at it because that's what you'll fucking punk me with. But then, then I won't talk about it, okay? Just to spite you because I'll be mad you showed me your dick. But yeah, man. I want to hear everybody, like people that listen, drop their own little Crux yaz in. So I'm thinking about, I think I'm going to throw a phone number out there. It's not my actual fucking personal phone number, you perverted fucks. But I'm going to have maybe I'll throw out a fucking Google Voice number or something out there so I can hear everybody drop voicemails in there. Just an idea I'm playing with. I might do that in the future. But either way, man, thanks so much for listening. Cody, thanks for coming.
Hell yeah.
And we'll be back next week. Crux, yeah.
Let me hear you say Crux, yeah! Crux, yeah! Let me hear you say Crux, yeah! Crux, yeah! Crux, yeah podcast.
Crux Crawford.